Hello, how are you? My name is Gregory Harnett, and I am really upset a bit. Part of me is upset because I hear all these myths and these opinions from gurus on TV and radio and even in my emails, and they don't apply to most people. And the direction is sometimes harmful for many people. So, what I'm going to do is talk about my top 3 or 4 peeves, and hopefully it'll ring a bell. But here's the thing: I want you to talk about it. I want you to talk about it with your advisor. I want you to talk about it with me if you have to. I want you to get a second opinion. But listen to what I say here and take it with a grain of salt, maybe more than one grain. Here's the first one. And sometimes it's not limited to the securities industry. Sometimes it's both insurance and the securities industry. But one of the biggest one that I have is buy term and invest the difference. And while I'm trying to teach you how to invest, it would be irresponsible for me to tell you to get a temporary insurance policy and just here's what the big fat one with cash value would cost you. So just invest the difference with me or with somebody else. But forget about that long-term insurance. And what is long-term? I don't mean long-term care. I mean over 30 years, over 20 years. Permanent insurance that has cash value. So it's universal life or whole life. And we're just going to talk about the basic life insurance policies, not the variable, mix it with a security in that. We're just talking about the basic needs for you and your family. And that is life insurance. And let's talk about it. What do you get life insurance for? What's your concern? Write them down. Write everything down. Put down every reason that you have to get life insurance. And what could they be? Okay, I want to make sure the kids are educated. Well, that's what my salary and everything's for that. Yeah, but what if you die? What if you get hit by a bus? What if you get into a car accident? What if you're not able to provide? Okay? What if you become totally disabled? Or you die, whatever. Then you would get disability income. But is that enough? Maybe you get a disability policy, but that's one part. And life insurance, what if you die before then? I hear it a lot from everybody. They want to retire when they're 50 or 40 or something like that. Great. But you still have to plan for age 66 or 67. Because most people want to retire in the 50s. In their 50s, when I'm 50, yeah, I want 40 years of retirement. I want to really enjoy it. I don't want to work for that. I want to work my ass off for a long time, but then I want to suck money away and do this and that. Well, things happen. Hey, we're right in the middle of a pandemic, global. We don't know what it's going to happen the next year. I don't care if you're on the left, the right, or right in the middle. You don't know how long this is going to affect the world, your country, your state, your city, your job, your family, yourself, your dog, your pets. You don't know how it's going to affect it. It's not over yet. We don't know where we're at in this. So here's what you have to look into. Everything that you want to take care of in case you die. So let's take it in 2 stages. Write everything down. Okay, I want to have enough money for retirement for my spouse in case I die too soon. Because, that my spouse is going to have a difficult time paying the mortgage and the kids and all that stuff. She's not going to be able to, save for her retirement. Okay, I want to put so much aside just for her retirement. Okay. Good. Retirement for spouse. Now, education of the kids, the mortgage, bills, a new car for the survivor for retirement, something that'll last them 20 years, and they're not going to have to worry about it. Make a list, everything. Your credit card debt, your medical bills. And here's one that most people don't understand or realize. Your last hospital stay, if you die in the hospital. Oh, that's what health insurance is for. No way. You ever see the TV shows where they say time of death, and they look at a clock up there and they say 7:48 p.m. January 12th, 2020. They put it down to the minute, and you know what? They scan you. Well, I don't go and scan you. They scan it on the record. They're going around in the hospitals and they're scanning everything. They're timing it. And you know what? Anything that comes in after that time, that's not covered by health insurance. So if you die at 12:48, what's going to happen? Okay, so there's body cleanup. There's maintenance. There's storage of the body. There's cleanup of the area when a deceased. It's a little different cleanup when somebody dies in a room, in an operating room, or in a home in the hospital room, than if the person, was released from the hospital. Okay, it's different. There's more costs. There's more expenses. There's more cleaning. There's a lot of things. Okay, so storage of the body, transportation of the body. All that is not covered. So from 12:48, as I mentioned, after 12:48, forget it. Everything that's incurred is the expense of the family. It's not covered under health insurance. Is it covered under life insurance? Well, anything's covered under life insurance. You can get life insurance so that your nephew gets the biggest lollipop every month for as long as he lives. I mean, you could finance anything or fund anything that you need. But the bottom line is you got to write it down and you got to make sure that everything's covered. Now, here's the tip. There's a point to all this. Take a look at all of those items that you listed, and also include the funeral, your funeral, procession, flowers, the plot, the stone, the escort, all that stuff. Okay, you got to include that stuff too. And then another separate category, credit cards and debt after you retire. Okay? So here's the point. When you retire, and let's say it's age 66 to 68, because that's when Social Security kicks in. That's what you should plan for. If it happens sooner and you retire, hey, that's great. You're going to be much better off. But you plan for 68 or 66 or 65, whatever you want. Okay, so now take a look at which are permanent and which are temporary. Permanent or temporary. And set them up into two categories. Don't take all the bills. You added it up and you figure it's going to be $600,000. Okay, let's just say that. How much do you need? How much of that $600 is going to be needed when you retire? And let's say age 65. And I'm going to say 65 because after 65, term life insurance is ridiculous. Actually, and most people don't buy life insurance when they're young, when they should. So usually they buy it in the middle 30s when they're not so bulletproof, as they say. Don't take offense to that. If you do, get a life, please. Because that's how people feel when they're very young. They don't need life insurance. I'm only going to die. That's bulletproof. That's the meaning. The technical jargon. That's the industry understood terminology. So when you retire at age 65, how much are you going to need for that? Well, probably only $100,000. To get the nice car for somebody, to pay off bills, so that they don't have maybe an extra year or so adjustment for the spouse, so she doesn't have to work or do anything. And then retirement would be, if I live to 65 or 66, yeah, the retirement, those will all be set up. So about 100,000 of the 600. So right there, you have the formula. You need 600,000, but 100,000 is needed at retirement. That should be your permanent life insurance, universal life or whole life. I like universal. It's more flexible. If you need more coverage and you have a universal policy, all you need to do is send that policy back and say, hey, figure it out. I need an extra 100,000. Okay, they'll do it. They'll send you back the policy, and here's your new premium. Okay, pay this amount now. Okay, fine. If you do whole life, they got to write a whole new policy. Okay, based on the rates from age 65 for $100,000, which would be more expensive. So you're going to learn about how life insurance works a little better. You're going to learn it better than most life insurance agents that I teach too, because I don't teach them everything, just what they need to get into the test and pass. And not borderline. I mean, they know a hell of a lot more than the average class teaches when I teach it. So the 500,000 can be in term life insurance, maybe a 30-year. If you're 35 years old, you would get a $500,000 term life and a $100,000 universal. And you say, well, why don't I just get the 500 and then when I'm 65, I'll get the 100? Well, that's when it's going to be much, 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 much more expensive. Okay. And while I'll just get 600 in term, like the people say, buy term and I'll invest the difference. Yeah, you really feel confident that you can keep that money aside for your life insurance needs? Most people don't. It's there, it's tempting, boom, it's gone. Okay, so 500 in term, 30-year term, that will take you right up to 65 if you're a 35-year-old. And that universal life, that will just keep growing. That'll just keep chugging along until you die. Just pay the premium. Now, there's different types of terms. There's different types of UL, but you don't want to get the cheapest term insurance and just keep renewing it, because every time you renew it, price goes up. Also, they give you a guaranteed renewability, but they don't guarantee the premium to be the same premium that you would experience if you bought it at that year. Here's an example. My brother had life insurance, bought it from me way back. He then said, you know what, I need to renew. I need to get this again. He said, but Greg, they want $700 a month. I'm like, well, let me see what's going on here. He said, yeah, they're guaranteeing you renewal, but you should just take your exam and qualify based on your health. But that's not fun. That's not right. I shouldn't have to do that. Well, they're not going to guarantee you to be for the rate of $700 a month. Yes, they're guaranteeing you can pay that all the way through. And you don't have to take a test if you don't want to. But we got him coverage for $54 instead. Because he rolled up his sleeve, he took his blood exam, and bingo, he qualified at that. So he was paying 30 some before. Now he has to pay 54 because he's 15 years, it was a 15-year policy. He's 15 years older. Okay, and you got to watch out because you may get sicker. You may not be this preferred health. Okay, so this idea about buy term and invest the difference is so flawed. It's scary. And here's the bottom line. What happens when you turn 30 years from then? Your term life is not going to renew. They only renew up to about 80. Some companies go out to 85, but they're not going to renew a 30-year term. At 65, that would renew it to age 95. So they're going to say, you know what, you can get a 20-year term or a 15-year term. And it's going to be based on age 65. And it's going to be far, far more expensive than if you would have gotten just the UL back here and covered that 100,000 there. Even the $100,000 term at age 65 is going to be very expensive because you're more susceptible to death then. Back here, 30 to age 35 to 65, the probability that you're going to die is very low. But 65 to 85, oh, when are we supposed to die? 82 to 86. Well, when do they stop issuing term policy? When do they stop covering you on term life policies? 80. Some companies go to 85, but they charge you a ton. And they figure it out, the price. So let's get rid of the first myth. Invest the difference? No. Only a fool would do that. Or a cheapskate. Or somebody who's so pig-headed they don't realize what's going to happen. Now, on those people that say this, there's a lot of TV and radio celebrities. I hope a lot of people sue the crap out of them. I really do. Because to give such advice and to maintain it across the board to everybody is irresponsible, flat out. And to say you should invest the difference, well, no. Investment is risk. One word to talk about it. Investment, risk. Insurance is not a risk. It's risk transference. Transferring risk is what you're doing. You're covering that risk. You kind of made. You pay the premiums, bingo, you're done. You don't have that risk. That's insurance, whether it's a health insurance policy or a major medical or a supplemental plan or a hospital or a accident plan or a disability plan or life insurance. It is transferring risk from you, from your family, to an insurance company. So make it last your whole life, okay? Now, once again, I sell far more universal life than whole life. But I got a secret to that, and you'll learn that later on, why I prefer the universal. And it's more than just, being able to get another policy adjusted without having to buy a new policy. It's a lot more than that. Okay, so what about another myth? There's somebody talking about a guy who goes into a store. I'm going to walk into the Starbucks or I'm going to walk into the Apple and I'm going to work on this. And they're going to pay for my lunch. They're going to pay for my computer. They're going to pay for this and do this. And lo and behold, he hits a few buttons on his tablet, his phone, and he got all this money coming into his accounts. You know what he's doing? It's disgusting. It's something that I teach. But he makes it seem like the company is paying him. He's not. They're not. He's selling put options in his brokerage account. And then in the whole spiel of 30 minutes or 10 minutes or 15, whatever he does, he only talks about 5-10 seconds about the risk. Oh, you may have to buy the stock. Well, hold on. You get $1,200. He shows once where he gets $1,200. And that's the premium for selling the put options that he sold to somebody. He gave somebody the right to sell their stock to him. He's hoping the price goes up on the stock. If it goes down, what happens? They locked in a price, let's say $50 on Starbucks. I don't know the price, I don't care. Let's say $50. He has to buy their stock for $50. What happens if the price goes down to 36 or 30? He has to buy it for 50. That's why he's saying, well, the risk is you may have to buy the stock, which means this is not a get richer. This is not a way to, this is a supplement to an investor. I like options. I love them. But you need to know the risks. And he's betting that the price is going to go up because he's given somebody the right to sell their stock when it's a dog to him. So that's the risk. The risk is you have to buy the Starbucks stock or the Apple stock or the whatever stock he clicks on that. And you have to buy it at the high price when it's selling in the market 10, 20, 30, 40% less. That pisses me off. So if you see somebody trying to tell you, this is nuts, this is what this guy does. He comes out, it's the Jeff Clark Trader, Jeff Clark Market Minute. And he describes this person. And the bottom line is, this guy is just selling put options to people, getting the premium. He's not getting it from the company. He's just getting it from another investor and taking on a risk. Now, it's a pretty good strategy if he thinks that the stock is going to go up. It's a lousy strategy in difficult times because the stock could go down at any time and he could be exercised and say, okay, here's my stock, now buy it. You can't say no. That's why you got to have, and that's why you said you're going to have money in that account to buy the stock. They're not going to just let you take the money out and play with it at any time. There has to be equity in the account to buy the stock. Otherwise, it's a naked call. It's a naked put. He's not covered. He doesn't have the funds in the account. Brokerage firms aren't going to take that risk. They're going to want the money in the account. So do you have $1,200, $1,500? Do you have $10,000 in your account? Because he may have gotten $1,200, but he may be obligated to buy $10,000 in stock. Beware about this stuff. Beware about these people saying these quick, rich investor strategies. There is a formula for a lot of things. I want you to base your investing on your risk levels. No one else's, your risk levels, your tolerances, your aversion, your goals, your objectives, not what somebody else is trying to sell you down the road. Okay? Am I trying to sell you something? Yeah, probably. I got something called the Investor Handbook. I'm Finance Guy 57. I'm at Gmail. You can contact me through here or that and get a copy of the book. It has everything to be a stockbroker except for the regulations that an investor doesn't need to know, but a stockbroker does. Okay, I take that stuff out. And then I put in my trading strategies, basic strategies all the way up to complex strategies. How to make money. Remember me talking about in the first one about the dartboard? Throw 3 darts. Assign different areas to different stocks or investments or however you want to do it. And where that lands, you should be investing somehow. Because with investing properly, you can do it, and especially with options and that, you can make money when the market goes up, down, or sideways, doing nothing. You should be able to make a nice living, whether it's going up or down or sideways. And I'll show you how to do that. But you got to know the basics on all the investments. You got to know how to set up the right accounts too. Just because you know the investments, the type of account is also very important because that's where the tax benefits sometimes are, not just in the investments. The investments are the funding of the accounts. The accounts are going to help you just as much as the investments. If you're in the wrong type of account, it could cost you tax money along the way. You want to make sure that you got that all set up. Okay. So we talked about a few things. There's a lot of different things that you got to watch out for on investing and scams or just buyer beware, or people trying to sell a program. Options, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, they haven't changed. There's some strategies, but the basic fundamental investment has the same risk before. Whether it's volatile or not, no, it has the same situation. When you hear somebody saying that they're going to be, another one I heard was ridiculous. Some guy asking for funds to fund his day trading. He needs $25,000 to be a day trader. Well, that's true. You need $25,000 to open an account for equity if you want to be a day trader. Now, if he's been doing this for as long as he says, why doesn't he have $25,000? If it's as low risk as he says, why doesn't he have the money already after a year and a half of day trading? In his words, it's paper trades, and nobody makes money on paper trades. And the idea that you can day trade and, it's set, it's low risk. It's still stocks. He's still in stocks. And if he's still doing stocks, the risk level hasn't changed. Investing in stocks, whether it's short-term, long-term, whatever, it's still moderate to aggressive risk. No time frame eliminates the risk. Oh, I'm only going to be in it for a short time. Well, that's fine. Then you can lose a little bit, a lot more often. That's what day trading can do. Day trading is fine if you know what you're doing, but don't let somebody tell you they got a program that has low to moderate risk. It's moderate to aggressive risk no matter what. And what they're doing is they're buying and they're selling in the same day too many times. So to do that, they got to find an investment brokerage firm that permits day trading, and they require $25,000 upfront equity. So he's asking you to invest in his mind, his ideas. I don't know what he's going to give you, but why would you do that? Why would you invest in somebody else's account and only get a portion? Why not learn how to do it yourself and fire that guy too? Be careful about people asking you for money for different things. Okay? Oh, Lord. And yeah, and here I'm trying to sell a book, but I got to make a living too. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a means to invest, to grow our assets, to secure our future, but we're doing it without a middleman or a top man. We're just going to a brokerage firm. Now, you need a brokerage firm to do this. It's a conduit. It's a means of, affecting a transaction. And that's what I spoke of earlier. You need the broker part of the broker dealer. You don't need anybody to play dealer with. You just need to get somebody to accept your trades and clear them for you. And clearing means you got to take it from the other investor who sold it and clean it and put it into your name, and then boom, it's in your account. Now, here's how fast trading occurs. And I've tried this every time I trade, and I've not won once. Now, wait a minute. I've won in investing, but not in the speed test. Here's how fast trading occurs. I go into my account. I type into my account. I see my positions. And my positions like IBM, XYZ, CBA, all the different investments, whether there's individual stocks or mutual funds and that. And then I think to myself, you know what? I want to get rid of this. I want to sell this. Okay, so I get it. I go into the trading screen, and then I hit the button for sell. And then I list the security. Here's and how many shares I want to sell. Okay, I put in how many shares I want to sell. I want to put it as a market order, which means I'm going to get the best price available right this second. Okay. So here's the thing. I put my cursor right on the trade button, and I hit the button, and I immediately go right up to my positions again, and it's already in the account. And it's already out of my account. The money's out of my account, and the stock is gone, or it's bought in there. or the money's put into the account. Before I can scroll up to the top and hit my positions or hit my account status, it's already done. It shows the cash taken out or put in milliseconds, because I'm pretty fast. I can go, bingo, I'm right there. I've not once have I beaten the trade and all of a sudden I see it pop into there. It's already in the screen before I can just scroll up and hit the position button tab on my online account. That's how fast these trade. Now, are you stuck with doing market orders? No, we're going to learn about the different orders. We're going to learn about market orders, stop orders, good to cancel orders, limits, all that stuff, limit order, all that stuff, stop limit orders. We're going to learn about them. But we need to learn the investments first. And we need to get rid of all these other myths and stupid stuff out of the way. If you come across something that seems too good to be true, of course, you know the saying, chances are it is too good to be true. But how and why? And that's what you need to do. You need to ask questions, not to them, to somebody else, to an independent. Somebody, ask me next time. If you make it onto one of the live chats, then bingo, do it. Okay, so good luck, everybody. And hopefully this network grows to the part where there's more than 20 people. Okay, I'm hoping for 10,000, subscribers. So hit the button, like, do all that stuff. And good luck to you. Okay, have a great day.